You take two old people trying
Trying
to
to
figure out
ancient,
technology, right?
ancient. I remember when they invented dirt.
All right, you need to mute yourself right there.
There. Continue with our 39.
Yep, here we are. She got a mask on.
I mean, I could. Probably.
What was that?
Recording has started by Ashley. Okay, now they could hear us.
Okay, okay. All right, everybody.
Yo! Let's get started. At ease. Sorry. Are we ready, Ashley? Let's rock.
Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Whoop, I got a reverb. Are we going good?
We're still on.
All right, oh, wait.
I can record here.
That can count.
Sharon. I voted yes.
Are we set? All right, it looks like we're good. All right, everybody, good morning. Nope. I would like to call the meeting to order. This is our summer homeowners meeting. And I got a puppet. Okay, got it. First, let me introduce my fellow board members and the PCAM partner. I'm Barbara Dzinski. For anybody who's new in here, I'm the president of the HOA. We have Ed Hammond. Sorry, I always put Harmon in there. Our secretary.
No mercy.
No mercy. Our secretary. Dawn Bonamic, is it Bonamic? You get that one wrong. And usually I call her Dawn, so I don't have to. She's our member at large. We have Bill Brown. That's easy.
She got that right.
And we have Glenn Higbee, who is our vice president. He's not here right now, but I understand, I think his daughter is on or someone is on taking notes for her dad. So he will not be missed. He will hear everything. And last but most importantly, we have Ashley McNair, who is our property manager from PCAM. So welcome everybody and thank you for coming. The agenda for this meeting was provided to all the homeowners via email today and this week. Hopefully y'all.
Sorry, they said they're still on echo, so is everybody's sound off as well as
Sound off too? Mine too?
Yours is.
Okay. Okay, we'll see. All righty. We're gonna first, update you on all of the projects. Our committee chairs will be doing that. Then we'll open the floor to the town hall questions. We'll first go over the ones that were submitted in and then open it to the floor. And at the last, we'll finish up with the elections results and the upcoming board. Edward, can we have an acceptance of the agenda? And we also sent out the minutes from the April meeting to approve.
So I am making a motion to approve the agenda for the August 19th, 2023 homeowners meeting. Who was that? Thank you. Any discussion?
Discussion?
Just a question.
Mhm.
Not minutes, more, this is just the agenda.
All in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? The agenda is adopted.
Okay, and then the minutes.
I am calling for a motion to approve the HOA community meeting minutes from April 1st, 2023.
I mean, and.
Yeah. So second and discussion.
Question.
He's
I
there.
did read through it,
That's
and I was
the,
wondering why there wasn't a treasurer's report.
He's home.
Because we did not have a treasurer's report. All the information that the treasurer provided was actually in the minutes itself.
I was on vacation,
Right,
Hawaii.
but
Guess where? Good question.
Mhm.
exactly.
The report would have been provided at the meeting, which it was not. So the information that we had was included in minutes. Other discussion?
Let me try this.
All in favor?
Wait, don't.
All opposed? The minutes are passed.
All righty, thank you. As we did in the spring, we chose to have this a town hall meeting again. We love hearing from you, the ideas, the inquiries, and the concerns that you have. We asked for your questions in advance, more so that we could provide you with updated information or numbers or things that you might want to have. Many of you used our contact link. Some emailed us, some stopped us on the street, some got us in the events that were going on. But they all, all provided us with questions, and we will try to get the answers to all your questions and update you also on the projects for 2023. Before we start, getting into the committee reports, once again, the board and PCAM would like to remind everyone to exercise caution when receiving any communication involving the operation of the community that doesn't originate directly from the HOA or from the management company. We're going to be doing a lot of things in this community upcoming, a lot of road work, sidewalk work, curb work, and we're going to be sending out a lot of messages. So please be alerted, be aware. There's going to be moving of cars needed and things like that. So we want to make sure everybody sees the information that's coming from the board and the management company. Now on to the meeting. Bill, can you start with the treasurer's report?
Absolutely. Good morning, Bay Point. The treasurer's report for Bay Point Homeowners Association as of July 31st, 2023 is as follows. The fund balances for Bay Point HOA are as follows. The operating fund balance is $69,573. The operating reserve balance is $40,318. The long-term reserve fund balance is $410,864. The social committee fund balance is $6,152. The total balance for all funds is $526,907. The year-to-date operational budget has a year-to-date positive variance of $13,171. Note, this includes $11,000 we budgeted to roll over into the operating reserve fund at year end to replenish the fund for prior year's expenditures. Note, year-to-date, July 31st, the new revenue line item, initial assessment, has reached its budgeted amount of $12,500. Note, for fiscal year 2023, year-to-date, July 31st, Bay Point's return on investments for the long-term reserve fund is $5,515 with an unrealized capital gain of $2,287. Thanks to the investment committee. This concludes the treasurer's report. James.
Okay, and next is going to be the investment committee.
James, Barry. Chair of the investment committee.
Second to unmute.
Morning, everybody. James Farrick, Chairman of the Investment Committee. I've been a resident here for 6 years at Bay Point. I've enjoyed utilizing my skills and experiences in assisting the board in making financial decisions. At this time, I'd like to also recognize Rich Sabinsky and David Baca, who are also members of the board, and also welcome our newest members, Fred Mayer, which we have here in the audience here, and Dennis Barton. We've developed, the committee has developed a strategy, investment strategy as a financial ladder consisting of no risk, federally guaranteed CDs and treasury bills, maturing at regular intervals from 3 months all the way out to 5 years' time. We've been successful in optimizing the return on our investments. For example, in 2021, the long-term reserve only earned $792. And that was on an investment of over $300,000 that we had in the bank with them. Year to date, as of July 31st, 2023, Bay Point has now earned $5,512 on our long-term reserve strategy. Thank you. Our committee will continue to strategize ways to safely optimize Bay Point's investment. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. I'm Colin Wemmer, Chairman of the Architecture Review Board. On our board, there are 4 other members, Marty Vitale, Greg Stevens, Bill Shirey, and Bob Frank, working with me to review applications and check improvements in the neighborhood. The status of applications year to date since January the 1st. We've approved 14 applications. 13 projects have been completed and final inspected. 7 applications have been approved, but work has not yet been completed. 2 applications were denied, then appealed to the executive board, which resolved both applications. And currently we have 1 application being denied that we are working through right now. In addition, there have been 2 revisions to the design guidelines. We've added a section C18 that provides guidance to homeowners regarding temporary protection of your plants from deer and rabbits and other wildlife. And then we added section C19 that clarifies what activities can be done within the natural buffer zone that's along Herring Creek. And there's a questions coming up later in the meeting where I'll address that in a little bit more detail. Okay. Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm there. Good morning, Bay Pointers. How you doing? I'm Larry Lonneweaver. We just been doing, it's been a great summer. Been a great summer. Seems like the pool's really been getting used a lot. So thanks for everybody helping keep that clean. But we've been scheduled on the beach, getting down to the beach at least once a month, rake it, clean it up and all that good stuff. And also the gazebo. We have a couple projects coming up. If anybody would like to, be a volunteer, if you could reach out to me, I'll leave my, give you my number and stuff. That way we can kind of, hey, because some of us are still working, things like that. So if we had a bigger pool of people, that would be wonderful. So we have an electric box over here on the pond. We need to sink some 4x4s and reconnect it. So that's something coming up. I hate to think about it, but the pool's going to be getting cleaned up, in the near future. So we'll have to, I think what we'll do is we'll power wash the chairs and then the next day put them all away, tarp them down and everything like that. So, but if you could, if you would like to reach out to me, would like to help, do small things around the neighborhood, just give me a call or text or email me or something. Any questions for me? Okay, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Get in my spot.
Good.
Good?
You're good.
Good morning. My name's Paul Strauss. Rachel and I live on Herring Reach Court. And I've been a resident here. We've been a resident here for 9 years. So it's been, I don't know, can't believe how fast it's going by. So as most of you know, we own those sidewalks and curbs. It's not the state, it's not the county. We own them. So we got to fix them. And you've seen projects in the past where we've had to dig up sections of the road in front of the stormwater basins to fix pipe joint leakage, where we get subsidence from sinkholes. Okay. Do you need a question right now? Evening. Okay. I'm just, let me get through this. Yeah. So, those we fully expect that we'll see more of those over time, but we think we've got most of them, and we seem to be pretty steady right now with those sinkholes. All right, we've done some coating, we've done some crack sealing, things like that. All right. This year, we have concrete. We're gonna, and Sharon knows full well how hard it is to get a concrete contractor to do anything. All right, if anyone knows a concrete contractor, send them my way. But we did send a contract out to a company called Concrete. They're gonna be making repairs to curbs, sidewalks. Okay, there's occasional apron where there's a failed corner. We're gonna repair those driveway aprons. We're also gonna be sealing all these catch basins. These stormwater catch basins have a joint between the curb and the basin itself. Most of those joints have been eroded out. What happens is water gets in behind the basin into the ground and causes these sinkholes, or it exacerbates the problem that's already there. So we're going to be cleaning out those joints and recaulking those. We're also going to, a lot of those catch basins have a raised lip. And we're going to be grinding a relief on those to facilitate water flow, water drainage. Okay, so when you see grinders and a crew out there cutting those off, or at least notching them out, you'll understand why we're doing that. So we have a contractor. Tentative start date on this work is September 5th. That's the day after Labor Day. So we're going to be asking, we're going to be working with Premier and the contractor to sort of forecast which street we're going to be working on. We're going to be asking residents not to park on the streets those days because there's going to be some jackhammering, there's going to be some saw cutting of concrete. At some point, we'll bring a concrete truck in and they're going to be pouring, fixing, replacing the concrete that we removed. You may see some yellow paint marks that are probably pretty faded by now, because it's about a month ago, I went around and I marked all the spots that need attention. But if you know of a spot in your house that hasn't been marked and you think it should be, please let me know, because we're basically going to be tackling as many of these things as we can. It's not a fixed, we got about 38 basins that need to be repaired. We got about 7 or 8 concrete sidewalk sections that have to be replaced, but if we're not going after hairline cracks, people, okay? If we have to seal them at some point, we can do that, but we're not going to address every little blemish that's in the concrete on this. Well, we can do round 2 next year or 2 years from now, as we do that. So that's what we're going to be doing. The other project that we're working on right now is the pool deck, and the pavilion deck or floor under the pavilion. We got a lot of unsightly settlement cracks. The reason we have these cracks is the original installation, they poured these gigantic slabs. They didn't put control joints in them. Natural settlement, concrete cracks, that's what you're looking at out here. It's pretty unsightly. It hasn't posed a safety problem yet. So what we're talking to a contractor about is chasing out these cracks and sealing them, and then possibly even coating the entire pool deck with a UV resistant pool deck approved kind of a coating system. We might do that in phases in order to defer expenses, because that's not a cheap job. You're looking at between $40,000 and $50,000 to do a complete pool resurface, but maybe as an option to defer. Maybe we go after the cracks this year, and maybe we do something about coating down the road or something. This is, I've been told that this pool is a, real sort of a centerpiece of our community. We want it to look nice and starting to look like getting wear and tear on it. You know, so we want to take care of that. And so that's what we're working on right now. If anybody has any questions or wants to talk to me about adding, yeah, Sharon, and
The blue lines, and it might not be for you.
that's the water department, that's not. Can't talk.
Has to be designed for because I've seen it repaired numerous times and they did the same thing, exact same thing happens every day. I'm talking about there like cracks in the tarmac, which happen as it sinks. But strikes me as it's designed for repair and those things are still going to come apart again.
Yeah.
I watched the set come apart again.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Is there some way, probably not, but is there some way of having it's the company money, with that, we could have them fixed in different ways so that we don't, we fix them 2 years later. If
Well,
bug again,
If you have a particular, if there's one in particular, let's talk about it.
well, it's not one particular product, it's several of them are.
Some are holding. What happens is when you see a crew out there digging, they cut a spot in front of the basin. They get a small backhoe in, they dig it out and they expose the pipe and then they take a hydraulic. This is Sussex County Conservation District where it's like a grant program. We're only paying half the cost of that. So this is, but what they're doing is they're exposing the backside of the box where the pipe joins the box. And they're hand packing a hydraulic cement around that to create a better seal. But you're right. It's not a design problem. It's an installation problem. The guys that installed these, they drop them in the ground, they run. County, does a drive-by inspection. It's crap. We're stuck with it. There's no other way. We're not going to go around and dig that would be hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have to get a company in that's an actual certified plumbing company to do that work. So yeah, we're just going to have to do Band-Aids on it. It's an economic decision, really. And if it's a sinkhole, it becomes a safety issue, we're gonna address it immediately, obviously. But yeah, it's an installation problem. Whoever installed them wasn't being supervised very well. So we're basically stuck with that. But again, if you see a cracked sidewalk section or a section that's heaved, we're going to grind those down. We're going to replace them. Same thing with sinkholes in the streets. We're going to fix them as we get them. We're going to do crack sealing, periodically. We did it 2 years ago. Why do it again next year? Just to
Best.
So yeah, we're trying to preserve, good investments as well, so just have to live with that. Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sharon Marshall. After leaving the board, I was given the lovely task or asked to do communications, which actually is my background. So I'm helping the community right now with communications. And the official committee consists of myself, Jeannie Cummins Eisenhower, and Kim Simpson. And then we have the volunteers of Nancy Shirey and Janice Bonnet. So I have some good news, folks. I'm going to have a new website. So Jeannie and I have spent the better part, I started even before the committee because I do websites for a living and our website is just horrendous. The back end is impossible. And it's 1980s architecture in websites and to train people on it is just too difficult. So I was concerned about getting a website in place that would allow continuity, that the next person could come in and easily do it and not need to have a background in website design. So we have found a platform, it's called HOA Start. the board voted on Thursday to approve it. Jeannie and I have reviewed 3 or 4 platforms. This was not the cheapest, I'll tell you that right up front, but it offered all of the features that we wanted. It's not the most expensive either. We will get started. I'm hopeful that by the end of this year, it's a big job to set everything up. But what will happen is you as homeowners will get emails from HOA Start alerting you to the website and how you need to go about setting up your passwords. So you will have, you'll get new passwords. There'll be a link right on the website to take you over to Vanica if you pay bills through Vanica. Otherwise, you never have to go to Vanica again. Everything will be on the BayPointDE.com website. So we'll eliminate this confusion of where to go. So there'll be a button. You'll go to Vanica to log in for your, if you pay your bill through that Vanica system. Some of us do other things. Some people pay right through that. So that will be happening, and we will be contacting club people in clubs to get their write-up so that we can update, because they're really out. I love them and think, my goodness, no one's used in 10 years. So we'll be doing all of that, trying to have a really live interactive web interface that can change regularly and keep everybody up to date. Your news will be up to date. You'll also be able to opt in for how often you want to get your news blasts. So, which is a nice thing for people that don't want to get the news. Now, this isn't important notifications from the board, but there will be weekly news things or whatever, and you can say daily, weekly, monthly. So there's all kinds of nice little perks in this that you can do as a member of the community. Okay. The other thing we've done is Janice, even though Janice is, dealing with the situation with her son and has not been able to be as active. She did update the events calendar for the rest of the year with all the social committee events. So we noticed that was missing. So a big thank you to Janice for that. And Kim has been working hard in the front entrance with the sign. I think everybody likes the fact that it's out front, that everybody sees it. And we also assist, we do the newsletters for the board and the monthly board recaps and many of the other board announcements we set up and then Ashley sends out. It's a very complicated process. It doesn't need to be this hard. So it should be much easier, hopefully sooner than December, but I don't want to promise before the end of the year, but we're going to get started right away. So thank you. Any questions? I'm sorry. No.
You're right there. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning for those that aren't here with us today. So far this year, the Bay Point Social Committee has hosted over 70 events since the beginning of the year. We watched the sunset over the bay on our sunset cruise. We cheered on the Delmarva shorebirds from our own private suite, which was sweet. We learned how to play pickleball. We held 2 scavenger hunts, one on land and one on water. We've relaxed poolside for Sunday fun days. We've had yummy food at the potluck pool parties, and there is one this evening, so I must give a shameless plug. Join us for that if you're around. And we'll be rocking the boat next Friday on the Cape May Lewis Ferry, and we still have availability if anyone's interested in joining us for that. We currently have over 35 activities and events planned for the remainder of the year, with more to come. And we're also researching the idea of a bus trip to New York City for the fall. So that has good possibilities. That could be a lot of fun for the group. We collected from 109 homes, and your generosity raised $2,310 for the social committee. So thank you very much for those donations. With those funds, we can fully support ourselves, which means hosting more events like the Blue Jeans, Boots, and Barbecue Catered Dinner that we did in March, the Sunset Cruise that we did last month, monthly coffee hours, and continuing Aqua Fitness Program and lending our support to the Holiday Committee or to the Holiday Gala. And speaking of the Holiday Gala, your gala invitation is being hand delivered to your mailbox next week. So keep an eye out for those. If you'd like a sneak peek of that, I do have a copy of it with me today. So, and thank you again for your continued support of the Bay Point Social Committee. The goal of our committee is really to bring neighbors together for fellowship and fun. And as always, we hope to see all of you at any of our numerous events around the neighborhood. Any questions for me? No, thank you.
Morning, it's good to see so many people out. Can this mic pick me up? I've been told I project pretty well. So a couple quick updates on the facilities. As you all know, we had a couple of water instances. A couple of instances of water incursion to the clubhouse this year from the pump room. We've received 3 bids from waterproofing companies, and we have signed a contract with Dry Zone to waterproof our pump room so that we don't continue to experience water incursion into this room. We are waiting to schedule to work till the end of the pool season. As you can imagine, there's a lot of equipment in there that needs to be removed in order for them to do their work, and pipes have to be disconnected. So we're scheduling that after the pool season. We will remove all the stuff from the pump room. Premier Pool will come in and disconnect the piping. Dry Zone will come in and do their work, about 2 to 3 days worth of work. And then everything will be connected back up and we can restore the pump room to its glory. Yeah.
Some choice of words.
If anybody's never been in there, it's a joy. Yeah. The clubhouse updates. We've been working with a design consultant to help us provide a layout for the clubhouse that'll best facilitate how we use this space. We've been here 15 so years now, and we've pretty much determined how we want to use this space and how it best suits the need of our community. So we've also put together an advisory committee of resident volunteers to provide their expertise in choosing fabrics and colors. And that will be happening 2 weeks, 10 days actually from today. So we'll keep you updated as the work in the clubhouse progresses. Some pretty interesting ideas, and I think that those new ideas will really be a big boom for us. It has taken longer than we would like. There's a theme here. One, it's summertime. 2, it's slower, lower Delaware, so things take a little bit longer sometimes. A lot of vacation schedules we had to work around, but I think we're going to make progress. We'll keep you posted as we make progress on that so that we can make sure there's no scheduling conflicts. Pool update. Thanks to everyone who's kept me posted on the status of the pool throughout the season. It's been a little bit more challenging this season, but I appreciate any of the updates people have sent me. I do want to say, please remember to secure the gate when you enter and exit. When you're finished with the lounge chairs during the day, please lay them flat. If they're not flat, the wind will pick them up if the storm comes. And also pick up your personal items, clothing, toys, trash, and things like that. I have quite a collection of goggles, googles, finding things in the pool that I pick up in the evening, and now they're mine. Or in the landfill, I'm not sure which. Security cameras. So thanks to Dave Bach, we were able to pilot a security camera at the kayak gazebo area this summer. We tested a solar-powered trail camera with motion-activated night vision. Sounds very, very active to me. And it's a very lovely olive drab color, so hopefully you didn't notice it too much. This worked really well for our needs down at the gazebo. So the board has approved the purchase of security cameras for the gazebo area, the boatyard, and the clubhouse. We'll put one in the front of the clubhouse and the back of the clubhouse. This is a start. If we need to adjust, add cameras as needed, we'll do so, but this was a start. What I do want to say is if you're not cleaning up after your dog down by the gazebo, we see you. Just a warning. Expect those to be installed sometime next month. Dave has been gracious with his time and technology expertise to help us get those set up well. You have any issues? Oh, these are not monitored cameras. Someone's not sitting at a computer watching stuff happen, which is kind of good. But what that means is that you'll have to notify us if something should happen. If you notice a kayak's been destroyed or stolen, or if something's happened to the boatyard, or something's happening around the clubhouse, you'll have to notify us. We have about a 2 to 4 week time span we can capture video. So that's that should help us pretty well. If that doesn't seem to be enough, we can always upgrade the video card to capture more time. And that's all I have. I do want to say one thing. I am rolling off the board this time. And I have to say how much I appreciate my board members. One of the most important things about working on a board is working as a team. And we've been so fortunate in this community to have board members working as a team. Someone's not available, someone steps in, or someone says, I can do this. So thanks to my fellow board members for all their support. And it's been a great, great year.
Hold on, Barb, you're gonna have to unmute yourself.
You're too far.
Okay, there we go. I'm good now. All right. We're going to start the town hall section of the meeting. What we want to do first is address all of the submitted questions, and each of us have ones to answer. And then we'll go into opening it up to the floor and also to the people that are, coming in via from home. So anyway, we'll start with the first one and Bill gets to kick us off.
Cool. Do I need to unmute?
Computer actually picks you up.
Cool. Thanks. All right. First question. Can we add grub treatment to our fertilizing treatments from Spazzato? The board will consider this request when developing next year's budget. It's going to be extra money, cost benefit analysis. Glenn? Is Glenn taking this question? You want?
No, Glenn, no, either. Oh, no. Who?
Colin?
No, Colin's taking that.
That's about landscaping, trees and shrubs. That's the ones you're referring to?
Yes.
The question came in, where does it say in the documents as far as planting indigenous plants or native plants in the area? The design guidelines do not say you have to do that. What it says is that use of indigenous trees and plant materials is encouraged to maintain the local character of the Baypoint community. So not enforcing it, just encouraging it to check with your landscape or whoever. Try to use native, try not to bring in invasive plants or growths that you'll want to underneath your property. And that is in our design guidelines, page 14, section C7.
All right.
Next question. What are the board's plans to control operating cost? This is a great question. We get to brag a little. The two basic ways the board manages operational expenses are adhering to a budget and following the procurement policy. Our budget is the result of a grueling process, whereas each board member is responsible for projecting cost for a series of budget items. One person takes building repairs, pools, etc. The process involves a review of past expenditures while developing new contracts. And of course, balancing costs with quality of service. Considering all the new developments in our area, we are in competition, constant competition for the best vendors. The board weighs these concerns when awarding contracts and finalizing the budget. This board last January developed and approved a procurement policy which is posted under governing documents. I'm not going to bore you with the specifics, but I assure you it is comprehensive.
You have the next one.
What are the year-to-date investment earnings? For the operational reserve fund, $460 in interest. For the long-term care fund, $5,515 in interest and $2,286 in unrealized capital gains. No, there was a substantial increase in this year's earnings thanks to the advice provided to the board by the investment committee.
Right? Okay, Colin, you're up again.
Okay. I sat down for these bills we want for a while.
I try to be short and sweet.
But, okay, the question that came in, what is the real issue with the buffer zones and Bay Pointe's responsibility? Okay, Bay Pointe's covenants, conditions, easements, and restrictions document, section 817 natural buffer zone, states that homeowners cannot disturb any natural buffer zone. And that's, okay. The natural buffer zone for Bay Pointe is shown on the record division plat drawings C4. And that's this set of drawings that we do have copies of here. It is just the record subdivision plat. On drawing C4, it shows where the buffer zone is along Herring Creek. And it coincides with the federal wetlands that are along that area. It comes from the gazebo, around past the point, halfway up the west side, Herring Reach Court, crosses over, goes down on the east side of Herring View, and it goes back into the bay. And so there's a 50-foot buffer to those wetlands. In addition to that, that is also Bay Pointe's natural buffer zone. Now, the buffer zone is only on lots 91 through 106 and lots 133 through 138. The legal counsel for Bay Pointe confirmed the executive board that the Bay Pointe HOA has the right to restrict all activities in this buffer zone, but does not have to enforce any restrictions. The executive board decided that the best interest of the entire community is to allow homeowners to make improvements in the natural buffer zone, including clearing weeds and underbrush, but to restrict the cutting of trees unless it's appropriate. So homeowners who have this natural buffer zone on their property need to know they're required to meet federal, state, and county requirements. Corps of Engineers is involved to be providing the water. The state of Delaware, DNRAC, is responsible for the buffer zone, certain restrictions there. The county planning and zoning, I believe, has restrictions on what structures can go in there. In addition to that, Bay Pointe would want to preserve trees. The roots, the canopy, could work against more erosion on that side. So that's the balance that's been struck at this point. Any questions?
Yeah. I've noticed environmental staff manages our pond, right? That's
Yes.
They've been out spraying the fragmite.
Yes.
And I like that. I'm glad they're doing that. Is that at our request? Or is it a state? It's on a fragmite management program?
It's at our request. We've been spraying for the last 3 years. If everybody knows, Phragmites is very, very invasive. It also dries out and can become a huge fire hazard. That's the big reason for getting rid of Phragmites, because it dries and then it can catch fire. And we got a lot of homes along that basin area. So we've been killing it. But it takes a long time. I mean, it is not native and it is very hard to kill. It's a tough little bugger. And but we do, so it's been our initiative. Trying to eliminate it all. Yes. And what we've been doing, if we have some in all different spots, like there's some in the front entrance over near Doug and Jeannie's house. There's some there. There's some in other areas around, over in the gazebo area. We're trying to clear that out. Then we've got it all behind the homes, the area that Colin has just talked about, that's really grown. And unfortunately too, has ruined everybody's view because it's growing higher and stuff. So we are trying to kill all of that. No, they don't. And it's not as expensive as it sounds. It's, it's an herbicide that we're going in. We aren't doing anything harmful, and Virotech, and basically, and I will tell you, it's like $800 for them to continue doing the spraying. So it's really,
Not that bad.
it's not bad. And we feel it's necessary to protect our homes.
Yes.
This might not have to do with, growth and stuff back here, but you're talking about the protected areas, it's the entrance when we come into Base Point, right where the new housing development is.
That's it.
What is the, plan, if anything, is going to happen here as a buffer? You know, it's condos and all that.
Between us and.
Is that what you're talking? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Right now, and as the board, we have decided, we are looking at it. We will know. And if there are going to be homes that go up there that are going to be bordering right on our property, and whatever Joe Reed or they put in, or the homeowners put in, we will augment. So we know that if you look at it, there's not much land that's ours there, but they have the first 3 homes. There's 3 homes that will be in that section. They don't go up to the pond. The pond stays where it is. We are not going to be blocking off that. First of all, we can't, because there's swales and we can't plant on swales. But so we'll have the pond. You'll see the pond and you'll see their walkway and everything. But the 3 homes are what we're concerned about. So those will be, we hope to do it with vegetation. But if we don't, we also are looking at maybe fencing that, we would block off. But we're not going to do anything till we see what he does. It's his responsibility first, and then we'll augment. But there's very little space in there that's ours. Everybody thinks we have a lot there. We do not have a lot of space. We go right to where the tree line is now, and we've already planted there. So, but we will keep an eye on it. Yes, and go ahead. And our lot will probably be going more for the arborvitaes that block really fast, instead of waiting for deciduous tree, that take longer to get fat and, block, that we block soon.
And just so you know, if you are one of those property owners, you have some concerns, just drop me an email or a text and I'll meet with you. We'll go over what's on your property, what's not. What knowledge I've gained over the last 6 months.
And buffers.
The buffers.
Okay.
Thank you, Colin, very much. Oh. Dawn?
So I'll go this way. I'll spit it bean. Is it possible to have a nice fountain in the front entrance? I'm gonna say, is it possible to have a nice fountain in the front entrance? I could be snarky and say no and just drop it, but so unfortunately, the fountain in the front entrance, developed several leaks and has not been in operation this season. We all know that, as we see it every time we come in. it's taken quite a bit of time to find a company a reputable company to do the repairs. We say reputable company. We have finally signed a contract to have the repairs done and are in the process of scheduling the work. Should be happening hopefully in the next couple of months before the winter season. That doesn't help us much till next season. And then we'll bring it back up with the nice spray and it will look good again. So that's just been one of those things that have been very difficult for us to do. We've all been working on this one. Any questions about the fountain?
No.
Thank you. Hopefully it'll be a nice fountain again.
Nice.
Nice fountain,
Nice fountain.
not a bidet.
Not a.
Yes.
Would have a water sensor, so if the water is drained out, the pipe doesn't burn something.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll have a water sensor or not, but it is monitored because some of the problems we have with it is a narrow fountain and the water does drain pretty quickly. So, they've worked with the different sprays to make sure that it stays within the fountain.
Yeah, it's been fine working until we got the crack and it drained through the crack. And that's where we really have to, it's not going to do any good to fill it up and do it again until we correct the crack.
Something to be aware of.
And the lighting needs to be,
And we-
switched up a little.
Yeah, the lighting, we also have heard that people are, you don't see the sign anymore. We will be doing the same thing as fixing so that,
So we'll have lighting.
yes,
Okay.
we will have bright lighting on the new sign that we did that
You can't see.
can't see.
Just come home before dark. Nothing good happens after midnight. Okay, so we had several questions submitted concerning the board's time spent on homeowner complaints and the handling of those complaints. So I'm gonna kind of address, rather than read all the questions, I'm just gonna address this concern more broadly. So the board takes homeowners' feedback very seriously. A portion of the executive session of the monthly board meetings is dedicated to discussing homeowners' concerns. So we talk about it, we decide what actions can be taken, should be taken, or if no action needs to be taken. And the board really works to keep the best interests of the entire community in mind, always. That's just how we operate. So we don't look at them as complaints, we look at them as feedback. And if we can't do anything if we don't know about it. So we appreciate your feedback.
Okay, I have who is responsible for all the Bay Point property reviews in the residential and common areas. PCAM, our property management company, is the reviews the residential community areas twice a month. And the board of directors and the community heads, committee heads, chairs really overview the common areas of the community. So any projects are then discussed. If we see something that we need to work on, we discuss it, we timetable it. We do that at our monthly meetings. An emergency rises, we hit those projects first, but there's a list that we have and we keep, unfortunately having to keep moving around pieces depending on the severity or, the issues that arise, and especially we address safety as the first thing. So that's who. So you've got residential, PCAM, and us on all the common areas.
We also received several questions concerning the application and enforcement of Bay Point's leadership code of conduct. So we wanted to provide some clarification on that. So the Bay Point Leadership Code of Conduct applies to each member of the board of directors. It applies to the chairperson of each of the chartered committees, and in some cases, other key committee members as identified in the charter for that committee. The code of conduct is not a community standard for conduct and does not apply to other homeowners. It is only for the board and the committees. Regarding compliance and enforcement, there are several, well, actually, there's two provisions in our governing documents that provide for enforcement if there are problems with board members. The first is in the Bay Point bylaws. In section 3.5, a director elected by the owners may be removed with or without cause by a majority vote of the owners. So owners have the ability through the bylaws to oust a board member. According to the amendment to the Bay Point CCRs, there was a new section which addressed the leadership code of conduct. There is a new section 3.6.1 where a director either elected or appointed may be removed if found in violation of the standards by a majority vote of the remaining board members. So that is how those are enforced.
I think that's
it.
it. All right. We now open it to people at home and also onto the floor. Okay, Kathy?
Walking, there is at least one tree on each road here that the branches hang down to, on the side of camp.
On the sidewalk?
So, I mean, that's probably a homeowner's responsibility.
But
The
we
one
can,
out here used to be one, so somebody must have taken a little lip off of that one, because today it wasn't a problem. But there's one on Bovis, one on the Freeze, one on, there's one on almost every road in here.
all right.
And that should be an easy.
Yep. Thanks.
Or if it's the maple trees, they're ours.
Yeah, I do understand the maple trees, but if it's I'm sure it's a lot of these crepe myrtles that are really becoming quite full and bushy. And there's,
Private.
okay. Yep, yes.
Your house, those evergreens, those long needles, they're just hanging down the sidewalk.
All the loblollies in the open, yeah, okay,
Because once you do that, that's right back up.
okay. All righty, thanks, guys. All right, yes.
Anything done about that? Talking about cameras at the pavilion or the clubhouse. Something, and I'm not really sure of the details, happened right in front of my house last week. And is there anything happening with security, like to prevent people from coming into the neighborhood? You know, catching them on camera or whatever?
Well, I mean, that's why we are putting in the security cameras and catching one on the front of the clubhouse. We also have had people coming into the pool area, that they are not supposed to. The entrance, we have thought about doing a security camera there. We're in the experiment. We've looked at gate. A gate won't keep anybody out. People can walk around the gate, and if they're not driving.
People coming in.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, when I first came on the board, that was proposed. And I have some cost figures in my files. It was extremely expensive to maintain a gate. Because there's annual maintenance and you have to build the gate. And honestly, I have family members that live gated communities. And one teenager gives the code out. And
What about eight? But like just a little building with some cameras around it.
unfortunately, my understanding, and Sharon, you looked into this.
Right.
Hate to bring you in on this. You're not on the board anymore. But we were exploring that and, we all share the same concern.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the cameras don't pick up the plates.
They don't want.
Pick up the license plates.
$1,000 security system. And the truth of it is, nothing gets done with the footage, even if you hand it to the police. So you can put things up that
could act as a deterrent, but you don't want to rely on the footage because it doesn't, they just don't do, they can't do anything. They don't do anything, whether they can or they don't. It's just what I was told when I spoke to the police. They said, we don't, it just doesn't get processed in the way that you would hope. So we let that go. But Bay Forest, is it Bay Forest where the woman on that's the Asian woman who
Oh, no, Ridgewood, the
Yeah.
Ridgewood,
the Asian woman that is behind.
Sue Lee.
You'll see 623, I think it's Bay Forest. I had a long talk with her. They have fake cameras up. That's what they did. That's what they did.
I put a big
It's
sign.
like fake cameras up as deterrent because, so I mean, there are.
So false
The
assurance.
board can pursue in terms of that, but in terms of investing in the major system that Ed Simpson and I looked at, at least on the board, it's ridiculously expensive for no real gain.
All right,
You know,
okay, yeah. Thanks, Sharon. We've also, if you look at our little sign that says, no soliciting and everything, we are looking at making it bigger. If you look at Ridgeway, I think it's Ridgewood or whatever it is that's on Angola, they've got this big thing and it says, monitored by camera and stuff. And that, because we're putting these cameras in, that's something we're looking at too, that will have camera that could capture a car coming in, we'd at least know. Unless we have guards, we're not going to be able to keep the people out. But we also we've had some issues down at the gazebo area, people driving in with boats, so that's why we have one there. We have people coming in via the Bay Point behind Nancy's house, coming in there, from other communities, so that's why we're putting it in the boatyard. And then we have had incidences around our pool of people and kids and things, and that's why we're doing that. Let's see what we do with these. We will keep adding on, as was needed, but you're not going to get, getting a police person in here, you call, it's mostly about the community's got to call and do things. Yep. mhm, Yeah.
I can share, are you?
Yeah. Okay, Jerry, Ed.
Last August, in this same meeting, we had an agenda item saying that all of the no trespassing signs were going to be updated.
Yep.
We only got one, and the only thing you can read on it is NO. You just need to get out of the car with magnified glass and read the rest of it. So, and there's only one. I don't know why this would be multiple. But I myself been caught I caught a father with 3 sons fishing in my backyard the other day, and I questioned him. He says, "Oh, we fish here all the time." I said, "Well, this is private property."
No, I know, I've chased a
Oh,
bunch
we
of
took
it.
down Cape Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Brown Sea Island, how it's called, but anyway, I said, "You shouldn't be here." Plus, when they access our ponds, they're trespassing.
Mhm.
There are no accesses between the houses unless you're walking on somebody's property. So I told them, I said, you're not only illegally fishing here, you're actually trespassing to get to the pond. This car was parked in front of Sue Cassette's house. And then last Thursday, the other night, we arrived back at quarter to 8. As we turned into Bay Point, there was a full golf cart with 4 unrecognizable people. We're leaving Bay Point and turning left and going down towards the Herring Creek. That were not people from Lincoln. And so I've seen many instances. We even had one where we're all sitting in the pool and one driving right up onto the grass and all the way up. She's making an agenda. And then started fishing. They were not residents of Lincoln. So I think more than one individual sign that says.
Oh.
Okay.
The problem is some, I have seen I didn't recognize it, and understand the policy is very issue. You can go up with this graph by, I think.
And that has happened to me where I approach someone and they identify themselves as somebody's grandchild. And I'm mortified.
Yeah.
But on another note, if someone knocks on your door trying to sell you something, you need to let PCAM know right away.
Who alerts the police?
Because I personally walked 2 days ago. Some of you saw me walk a salesman for Pest Tech.
I told him yesterday, he knocked on my door and I said, no soliciting our neighbors.
I dressed him down and said, under no certain terms, if you come here again, you're gonna be arrested for trespass. He was very, oh, I'm so sorry. And I walked him to his car and he left. But we as a group, you can't just think the board's gotta answer all the problems. If you see something that doesn't seem right, don't call the police. Do something on PCAN. Let us know. And I think we should make this an agenda item just to explore.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have cameras in our house.
Yeah, cameras and ring cameras, those all help too, because.
Look out for each other.
Mhm.
And being vigilant is, we're really blessed and have a lot of different people here that will see something. The incident with pizza delivery.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right up here, almost in front of our houses. So it was terrible, have him assaulted and they ran right in between Dominic's and Colin's house, jumped the chain link fence. Super easy for them. So our house, the back of it has a big privacy fence that goes all the way down here. And then half of it turns to the chain link, which was in Colin's house. Would the board consider a suggestion of continuing that privacy fence to take those homes from getting in and out?
I think it's certainly, we could look into it, but they could just go, this is what we've run into as we put the fence and then they just go around, they keep finding their way in. I mean, unfortunately, we put, we had a hole, we've patched that hole, now they've moved down, it just keeps going, that way. So, yeah, yep, no, we certainly will. Nope, Mary, it's already with the fence. What? Yeah. Can we?
Order, please.
Playground. I think that makes it easier than jumping the fence and potentially set it down to where they have to cross through somebody else's backyard.
Mhm.
So, probably someone of the attorney. They do, I've seen a lot jumping back and forth. They just go to the playground and say, hey, let's go over there and jump in the pond. We've done that.
Okay.
Ron?
I thought the fence weren't marked. I thought they belonged to me.
They do. They belong to the villages of Herring Creek, as the fencing. We have some that has been part of ours that we put up. But yeah, that's their fence. It's not our fence, but if we had to, it would be our fence. The cleaning down to the chain, on this side of the chain link. So but that's something we got to consider. Yeah.
Why can't they put something that doesn't cost extra money? I mean, just a little bit, but just put some security cameras that aren't monitored. But if something happens, they can at least go look and see what the people look like. And okay, if they can't catch these license tags, but at least something, and people can see the cameras. And then have, secure and have lots of signs, security cameras all over, all through the neighborhood.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Something to consider. That's, well, and we're in the process of doing.
Yeah, we're in the process of doing that. That's what I'm saying. So we're
Another question.
all right, let's go, move on. Yep.
Change the subject. 2 comments, 1 minute. First is for the owners. If you don't know, at the corner of Angola and Route 24, Anderson's Marine Services, it's up for sale. The buyer has made an application to the county to put a Royal Farms in with a gas station and a car wash. I'm not here to take sides, but if you're not informed, you can never make decisions about whether or not you wish to support it or go against it. Sussex2030.com for more information.
Yeah.
There was a sign-up sheet here with information with the plat, and it's,
I have that.
okay, good, because there were 30-some signatures on there the last time.
Believe me, and in the future, folks, if you want to post something like this that doesn't directly relate to HOA business, you need approval from the board.
So that's the second part of my question. Because I asked for approval to do that, and I was told, no, the board would not make a decision. Now, I understand the board's decision not to take sides in these matters. I do not understand why the board would not at least inform us. We cannot make informed decisions if we're not informed. That's all I need.
Thank you.
Informed, can I ask, informed on what? About the meeting or about the,
No, just to inform the owners that there is a process, application in the process to put oil farms in. And let the owners, we're all mature adults, let us decide what we want to do, if anything. But if we don't know, I mean, there's 7 communities here that have banded together. And over 400 of them are getting ready to take some sort of action. Again, I'm not here to take sides or ask you to do that, but you need to know.
all right.
Because, yeah, that's all I'm going to do.
We hear you. You know, a lot of times we don't know, you know, I mean, you people informed us about the Royal Farms. Yeah, I
And you
mean,
said,
we
no,
don't.
we would not do that.
No, I didn't. We said that we wouldn't take sides, you know, we wouldn't put we haven't before put information
My
in.
email, I didn't ask you to take sides. I just said, please inform the community. That's all I wanted to do. Yeah, we can't take sides. I support you on that.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Good. Subject 2030.com.
Yes. I don't know. Okay. Is that just, yeah,
Already been there, so I think
yeah.
people are aware, which is good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Sharon?
Do you know what the water department's doing with the blue lines? Because I, all of a sudden, I'm seeing blue lines everywhere, and it's almost in front of my house. So I'm just curious what the blue lines are, does anybody know?
Ashley, can you look into that?
Thank you. That would be nice.
When they.
It is the water department, because
When
it's.
they bill you,
They
they
put a-
read your meter remotely. Those blue lines are right adjacent to your meter, so when they drive by, they can read your meter.
But I'm seeing things in the middle of the street painted blue, but that's discussion and no, that's fine. I'm seeing drainage in the streets, painted blue now too, like in the middle of, Newport. There's 2 of those blue water things and they're painted bright blue, so I'm just.
Ashley, you're looking.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
So
about that.
I understand that explanation, but I don't understand the.
Okay, we'll find out about the, yep, Ginny?
If the people that signed that petition against the Wolf Farms, are you going to submit that? Because you can only put your name on one petition. So the people that signed it are, you are submitting, but if you're not, could you tell us?
Well, it's, you know, that's what we didn't understand, because we thought with the meeting on August 3rd, and when they were, you know, you know, that those signatures were supposed to be turned in. I was one of the second person that signed on that thing, and we thought they were turned in, and they weren't turned in for our community. So I don't know who was putting that up or. October, okay, my misunderstood.
Steve, why don't you stop by my
Yeah.
house? I'll hand.
We did not
I'll
know.
hand-
I thought it was supposed to go
Take
be
care.
turned in, so we were gonna turn them in. So we don't know
Yeah.
who did it.
You can also sign the petition electronically, subject 2030.com.
Excellent. Thank
You
you.
might want to fight this, because if you
Really
go out that
do
road
this.
and you intend to, you're either coming in or you're going out, their entrance is going to be on Angola.
So worst possible place they
So
go.
they're going to cross in front of you, or they're going, if you're coming down, they're gonna be pulling out. This is a nightmare, the way they have it designed. And I don't care if you want to go get your coffee right down the street, because this is going to be, there's also the issue of, it's not just that the tanks could leak, because now they probably have really good linings and everything. It's more error by people that are pumping gas. They gave us one example, because we did go to that meeting, of a man who pulled in with his boat, intending to fill his boat, took the gas cap off. I don't know what he was doing, but when he went to put it in the tank, he stuck it in a rod holder instead. And get some gas all over the ground. And that, our wellheads are right off of that, it slopes down into that creek. That's where the water comes that we all drink. Our water is now connected with Rehoboth Beach. So if they pollute our wells, we've also polluted Rehoboth Beach's water. So this is something that you might really want to consider fighting, because if this happens and we lose our water, and I know of this because we lived in an area where gas leaked into people's actually wells. These people will never, ever use their water again. And the mediation that went on there was horrendous. So this might be something that you really want to fight, because if we fight it now, it probably won't come up again. The reason he has brought this up again and is pushing North Marshall to sell his land is because there's going to be some kind of bill that's going to pass, and he wouldn't be able to do this in the future, but he wants to get it done now. So we're fighting it. You can do whatever you want, but I personally would fight this with everything I have, because it's very important.
Jenny, I'm gonna put it back up on the Facebook page, so. See it here.
Jenny, are they also considering putting a truck depot there?
For what?
Oh.
Truck depot
Diesel.
for a bunch of trucks?
No, that was,
It's going to be other
But
shop.
they're gonna have to use some trucks, stacked up with fuel in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's only going to be
24
hours.
Right.
And the one you have to come this way to get in, I don't think they're gonna let them cross, so then they're gonna have to come down our road and go in.
Right.
So,
You do a U-turn to face oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, it's horrendous down there. They are going to redesign, but they don't have a lot of room to put a lot of lanes in. You know, it's gonna be.
they can't put a double lane in because there is runoff and wetlands on the one side, and that, I've already talked with them on that, so they can't, it's gonna be literally, yeah, you're right, it's high up in ours. Yeah. All right, okay,
Sorry to bang. Or if we fought this 3 years ago. Right?
yeah.
The guy.
Order, please.
It's in front of me afterwards. I'm fighting. I simply stated my people, said it's right there, grass. We already have a 7-Eleven that's going on a mile away down the road. We've already got at the intersection of Route 1 and 24, and one of these. It's going to be a 24-hour operation. If you stand at that intersection, I have taken pictures, send them on to SARG. You'll realize it's coming downhill with an obstructed view. We made all these points, and we only won like one vote last time.
Yeah.
It took the interventionists of our assembly, Schwarzkopf and some others, to get this thing stopped. That's how hard it was to get stopped. PSA was just going to go ahead and rubber stamp it. You think rush hour is bad now. Rush hour is going to get worse when the schools start. It doesn't stop. We're a cutover now. Right, it's a substitute for 9 from 1 to 13. This, I think you wait for 2 lights now. And then wait on this thing gets them.
Hey,
I said,
Kurt, did you go to the meeting too? Were you at the meeting?
no, because that.
Okay, I'm just asking because they said in the newspaper and everything that there was going to be a whole study done on, and I wondered if they brought anything up about the study on traffic and everything else. They haven't done it?
First PLA in state, it's the same thing.
They're gonna make them do it again.
Again,
It
okay.
hasn't been done. They're probably waiting for summer traffic to go down.
We need to-
But
All right, don't you go.
Anybody, there's
They
going to
better
be
get it out.
a Zoom meeting, it's going to incorporate the communities around here. It's going to be on the 23rd of August at 7 o'clock. I have the information here. If you want to either dial in my phone or get on your computer, and I hate Zoom, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, Get it on, we can get on the table.
But I just want people to know, participate in this, because they're deciding if you get everybody into, you know, one place over there in the States. And this. But
Alrighty.
don't fight. You're gonna get.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for.
Yes.
Talking about trimming trees earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, quick questions. Are you gonna have the people that did the tree trimming in the, also since this winter, doing more work? Because I need to get some stuff done. I don't have them do it when, or do I just need to go get my own contractor?
We don't have anything scheduled to come in. We had a couple of trees taken down just recently, but we haven't had anything scheduled. We're now looking in, to the probably for trimming on the sidewalks and stuff. So we'll let us get back to you. Okay.
Question. There's several homes here that need some weeding really bad. And
Yes.
I think one of them is rental property, so the tenants then do that.
I drove around. We're well aware of what needs to be done. So.
All right, just like.
Yep.
There's a process.
There's a process and I understand too, a lot of them, and I've talked with some of the homeowners, it was very, very hot. And, tough time for them to get out, and do it, and they do it themselves and stuff, and today would be a good day. Last night, I had trimming on my bushes, as my husband knows, and I was out there, waiting for to cool down. So, yes, we are aware of the, there's about 10 homes that need to be taken care of. Yes. Yes. Not true.
Maybe we'll be paying the bill next year.
Yes. So, yeah, it's,
Then it would be higher. But then you, a new person, if that's needed.
well, right now, we're hoping that the person that has been been doing it will continue. Henry will do it.
But if she doesn't.
At the time when we looked at Henry, there was also 2 people at the YMCA that could do it, at the time. So we'll.
So the word would be.
Not the board, the social committee will,
But the board hires them, right? Signs the contract.
yes, yes, we would sign the contract.
Right, so just to be clear, the board approves and signs the contract.
Yeah.
We have one more.
So research happened.
So on that activity, you sent out a great questionnaire last year about what amenities would everybody like to have? And it was full, I checked every box except for playground. But, and so the follow-up email was, we're gonna focus on our current amenities. Is there a discussion that you want to send this questionnaire out?
I don't know whether we'll send another questionnaire out on that. Part of the budget process this year, as you know, was an austerity year, and we sent that survey out 3 years ago. It was, a number of years ago, 2 years ago. It was, feels like it was like forever, because
It's been
it's been a long time, a long year. But anyway, right now at this point, we have big issues in this community as far as, and we were trying to keep all of the costs down, the core, the fees and everything, and we're in an austerity, inflation. So a bad year, with inflation and everything else. So we are going into the budget process. We'll look into it. But many of the things on those that were there did not, some of the big items didn't score well, among everybody. And something that would be of a big magnitude of cost is not something that the board decides. The community decides that. And we will go out to the community, and we need to have a vote of 66% of the people willing to go for that expense, so it's not a board decision. It would be a community decision.
Which of those items fall into that?
Well, pretty much I would say maybe all of them do, but I think What we were looking at one time was having the bocce court and the horseshoes done, by, maybe a scout project or something like that, or people or volunteers. So that wouldn't be an expense. A pickleball court, walking trails, a fitness thing around, those would have to be by majority, of the community, except.
So it's sure, I understand correctly, logical board portions that you mentioned, which I think you said in your minutes from the last meeting, for 1 and 3.
Yes,
List.
yes.
Those are things that we couldn't afford to do.
No. It's just this year, as we told everybody in the budget year, with having done there would be nothing done this year.
No new projects.
No new projects this year. We were looking into the projects that are needed to keep the community running. We are coming into a budget scheduled now. We start, in fact, with the new board. All of a sudden, we've got a budget and we will have it for the November ratification, and those things will be considered.
There's so many unknowns. It's a better year this year with inflation than it was last year. 8% this time last year. Now, it's around 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's going down.
Yeah, so
We're in a better situation, but we
We
don't
also
know how the contracts are gonna come in, point blank. And we're bidding against all these other communities, and if if you want quality, you have to pay for it. And this board, the boards that I've been working with, we want quality. We don't mind paying a little bit more if you get good service. And that's a possibility.
And that's the possibility that we look at, and we just supply materials. That's what we were looking at doing, and talk with people about doing that. And, we would supply materials, and labor. Yeah, we can do that, but that's not necessarily.
And we've had major projects like that before. This community, we redecked the fishing pier. We did that.
Yeah. We've put in all of the kayak racks that are
We
needed.
built
Yeah,
them.
we built those, so.
So yes,
Okay.
All right.
So if there's any additional questions that you didn't have a chance to ask, if you could please submit them through the website, the contact us button. That'll come over and then we will definitely get answers back to you. So we are now to the election results. First, I would like to thank all of the candidates who ran. I would also like to thank Dawn for all her help. We had 113 households that voted. There were 17 votes for Gail DeBoe, 108 votes for Barb Jasinski, and 90 votes for Lynn Madden. So congratulations to all of them.
Before we wrap up, I also, and the board, would love to thank Dawn for stepping in this year to help the board. We needed somebody with experience. We needed somebody that could help execute a plan in an austerity plan in an inflationary year. We also needed somebody that could go out and do a lot of the legwork for us, which Dawn did. Once again, you did your part for Bay Point, and we really thank you. We are all grateful for your volunteering, and maybe it was me twisting your arm, I don't know, but one of the things, yeah, right of me. I have to say that I'm not only glad to call you a teammate, but to call you a friend, and we thank you very much for everything that you've done for Bay Point. So nice. All righty, I think we're concluded. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Oh, what?
tell me or me.
She knows.
Oh, okay.